Yes. So see, whenever you start any programming languages, then or you talk about any topic, and there are certain things which we need to discuss. Like for few of the things, there could be life cycle of that stuff, and there could be architecture. So at least we need to know what is the basic things. And so in Android also, whenever we will discuss about the building activities, then for each activity we need to follow the life cycle of an Android also. And that also we are going to discuss in the upcoming sessions, because there are many methods in the life cycle of Android that we need to discuss. So similarly, in Android, in the architecture of Android, there are various layers. So you can see in this figure there are various layers which are available in the architecture of Android, starting from Linux kernel, then libraries, application framework, applications, and Android runtime. And so thing is, whenever you develop any application using Android Studio, then out of these layers, you need to deal with most of the layers. And because it varies from application to application, but mostly in each application you are going to use the fundamentals of these layers which are mentioned here. So in today's session, I'm going to explain you what this layer is all about and what is the meaning of it. But still, I'm not saying directly you need to implement this while developing the applications. This is just an informative session. So you just need to understand that these are the layers which are available in the architecture, and in each application, the concept of these various layers could be there. That's it. Otherwise, directly you don't need to relate anything to your applications. So don't worry if you are not getting it 100%, but still I will try to explain you clearly. Stop me if you are not getting. Fine. So let's start with the bottom layer, which is Linux kernel. So actually in Android Studio, these are the layers which are available. For each application, there could be certain layers like Linux kernel, libraries, application framework, applications, and Android runtime. So in the bottom, if you can see, the bottom layer is Linux kernel, inside which you can find various drivers. So can anyone tell me what do you mean by Linux? Or sorry, what do you mean by kernel? Because this word is everywhere. Have you ever heard about this word kernel?
ये शायद सर एक मतलब एक छोटे से जो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में जो छोटा सा पार्ट होता है ना उसको कर्नल बोलते हैं शायद.
Very good. In operating system, this word was there, correct. And you are saying that it's the smallest part in the operating system. That is fine. Yes, other than this, do you have any other thoughts?
By kernel, we can change the performance of a phone.
Very good. You can change the performance of your phone, because nowadays we are using Android phone. So Android phone is having Android as a mobile OS. And so whenever we talk about operating system, role of kernel is there. If I talk about computer system, then also without operating system we cannot operate the computer system. And if operating system is installed, then surely the role of kernel is there, because kernel is something which plays an important role between hardware and user. Right? So for example, let's say I am user, and I want to get good experience, and I want to utilize all the facilities of my computer system. Then without kernel I cannot do anything. So for example, let's say I am using my computer system, and I have installed operating system in my computer. Let's say Windows 8 or Windows 10 is installed, and now, for example, I have installed few softwares as well, and let's say I want to access any of the software. I want to utilize it. So do I need to have any other things? So in my laptop, let's say Windows 10 is installed. I have installed one or two softwares. Now I want to execute those softwares. Do I need any other things? Can I operate it? Can I execute that software? Can I run that software? Are you getting my question?
No sir, एक
No,
बार
sir.
फिर से repeat करो.
My question is, I am using laptop. In my laptop, I have installed Windows 10 operating system, and I have installed 2 or 3 other softwares which are needed for me. So for example, let's say I want to edit the photographs, and to edit photographs, I have installed Photoshop in my laptop. So my question is, can I use Photoshop directly? Can I run it directly without doing anything, or do I need to do something?
No, sir. Sir, permissions?
Which kind of permissions? Which kind of permissions?
storage.
सर उसमें आपको प्रीमियम कराना पड़ेगा ना
Sorry?
उसमें तो आपको प्रीमियम कराना पड़ेगा ना वो तो प्रीमियम मांगता है ना
See, don't think too much. The thing is, let's say I am using the premium software. I am not using the pirated software. So don't think too much. My question is simply, the software is installed in my system and I want to access it. So can I access it directly, or do I need to do any extra things for you? This is what I'm asking.
सर विंडोज चेक करेगा कि फोटोशॉप वो अपने सॉफ्टवेयर को हार्म नहीं करेगा और वायरस नहीं आएगा ये सब.
Yeah, that is also fine. Let's say every checkup has been done. Then, and I am just giving the example of Photoshop. Otherwise, there could be any softwares. In general, let's say there are few softwares which are installed in my laptop and I want to access it. That's it. So to run that software, do I need anything? This is what I'm asking. Or directly I can double click on it and I can execute the software and I can make my work done.
सर जतिन बोल रहा है ना ड्राइवर चाहिए.
So let's say, for example, Microsoft Office is installed in my system. Then are you agree that to access the applications of Microsoft Office, I need to install the drivers? How many of you are agree with this?
सर ड्राइवर की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, बट सर वो फ्रेमवर्क नेट होता है ना, शायद उस पे वो डिपेंड करता है. अपडेट
But again, that yes, correct. That .NET framework is again not needed for all the softwares. For few of the softwares, if it is needed, we need to do it. We need to install it. That's fine. But my question is, as Jatin has said, let's say we need driver. So my question is, do I need to install driver to access any softwares?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes.
No, sir.
No, not at all. Because while accessing the softwares, we never need drivers. And whatever extra things are needed, but again, that will be the software side only. As someone has said that we need .NET framework. So again, that is the software side. We don't need any extra drivers or hardware. But now let's say, for example, I'm buying a new camera, a new webcam, and let's say my webcam is, I have attached my webcam in my laptop. Then again, to access the webcam, do I need to do any extra things?
Need
No, sir.
driver, sir.
Yes,
Like-
now we need drivers. Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes. So whenever
Yes, sir.
whenever you are dealing with any hardwares, I'm just giving an example of a webcam. Otherwise, there could be any drivers, whether it is printer, scanner, whatever. But whenever you deal with any hardware, you need to install the appropriate drivers so that you can access it. And so to manage the entire processes in operating system, you might heard about process management, and there was a dedicated chapter. So to manage all the hardwares, to manage the drivers in operating system, kernel is something which plays a vital role, and that is why kernel is the core part of any operating system. So here also, as we oftenly said that Android is also an operating system for mobile. So again, there is a kernel which is known as Linux kernel, which simply manages all the necessary hardwares which are available or which we need to do. So for example, in our mobile also we need to deal with many drivers. Like to displaying the things, we need to have display drivers. For accessing the camera, we need to have camera driver. Even for storage purpose, we need to have flash memory driver. Even IPC is also there. Do you know what is IPC? Can anyone tell me what do you mean by IPC?
I
In
don't
operating
know, sir.
system, sorry.
नहीं सर मुझे नहीं मालूम.
Okay, in operating system that concept was there, if you remember, in I think PCB. PCB stands for process control block. It is not Pakistan cricket board, but it is process control block. So even IPC is inter-process communication. So whenever in your operating system, if you are dealing with multiple processes, then to execute all the processes simultaneously, you need to schedule it. Fine. So that entire concept is known as IPC. So again, for scheduling the processes, that concept is there. So those drivers for keypad also, you need to install the drivers to access the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, everything. You need to have the appropriate drivers. Even audio drivers are there. Power management is also there, and to access the battery level or to give the power to our mobile, we need to have drivers for power management also. So all those informations are available in the Linux kernel, which kernel simply manages the things which are related to the drivers. So you don't need to go in the background that how kernel is doing it, because it is not a point of discussion now. But as of now, you need to remember that kernel handles all the things that are really good for the mobile operating system, like how to install the drivers, and if drivers are installed, then how to interact, or how to, let's say, for example, if I want to access the camera of my mobile, then we don't need to do anything. We can simply click on camera and you can simply capture it. And so in the background, kernel always deals with the hardware, or it deals with the driver, so you don't need to worry about it. And so this is all about the bottom layer, which is Linux kernel, which manages all the device drivers, which is simply, we can say that drivers are a kind of intermediate things for user and hardware. If I want to access any hardware, then I need driver. So driver is something which connects user and hardware. Is it fine? Any doubts so far for the bottom layer?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, then next comes second layer, which is libraries, which is also very important layer for any of the programming languages. And if I talk about C language, then in C language also you include the header files. And so it's a kind of an example of library where in that header file there are certain functions, and if you want to access those functions, you can simply include it. So similarly, in Android development also there are many inbuilt libraries, as well as there are many external libraries also. And so if you know for your requirement which library is there which you need to use, then simply you can use it. You can import the library in your Android Studio, and you can access all the inbuilt functions of those libraries. So as I said, there are inbuilt libraries also, and there are external libraries also. As per your need, you can use the appropriate libraries. So here, whatever libraries are mentioned, those are the inbuilt libraries, like Surface Manager is there, Media Framework, SQLite, OpenGL, FreeType, Webkit, SGL, SSL, and LIBC. These are the inbuilt libraries. But nowadays, again, people have upgraded many other libraries also. For example, if I want to read the PDF document, then for that there is a library. If I want to edit the PDF document, then also there is a library. And so nowadays there are many libraries which are included in the SDK itself. But still, for your requirement, if you are not able to find any library in the SDK, you can simply search it out. You can find it from the internet. You can download it. You can import that library in the studio, and you can access all the functionalities. So for example, let's say I'm having one JSON data. Right? अभी आपको पता नहीं होगा कि JSON data क्या है, but later on, when I will explain XML parsing, you will come to know that what is JSON. So let's say if I am having JSON data, which is a combination of all the fields, and I will be having a single string, and if I want to split out all the data, then in that case, for JSON also, I need to download one library. And that library is case of library. So we will download that library, we will import it in the studio, and whatever inbuilt functions are available in that library, that we will access. So likewise, as per your need, you need to appropriately use the libraries. So whatever inbuilt libraries are available, you can see a Surface Manager is there. So in Android, just a minute, guys. Hello. हाँ चालू है. फोन करूँ मैं. In Android, whenever I will talk about an application, then in each application there could be n number of activities. And for example, if I talk about website, then website contains web pages. Fine, website contains web pages. Similarly, Android application contains activity. So for example, in my application, let's say I am having one single page, then that is my activity. In that page, let's say there is one button and I am clicking on that button, which will switch me to the next page. So that next page is the next activity for me. So each page can be considered as an activity in Android applications. So we will never say page or any other things, but always we will treat that thing as an activity. Are you getting me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes.
Yes, yes. So whatever applications you have, in that application, whatever number of pages are there, you can say that in that application, that number of activities are there. And so in any application, even it is a very simple application, it may have 5 to 7 activities. So in each activity, you will have to place many things. So for example, let's say I'm having one application, and in that application, let's say there is one activity. In that activity, there could be certain buttons, there could be any kind of widgets, there could be list view, checkbox, radio buttons, autocomplete text view. There are many things which I can place in each activity. And so whenever we place all the widgets in the activity, then how to manage it? Because to place all the controls, you need to have layout also. So how layout will work and everything will be taken care by Surface Manager library. So as of now, you don't need to think about Surface Manager, but once I will let you know how to place all the widgets in the activity, at that time we will see the various types of layouts also, so that you can come to know that how I can place the components appropriately using the particular layout. So that comes under Surface Manager. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Then the second one is media framework. So in Android application, you can deal with the media as well. So whenever we say media, then directly it comes in our mind that I'm talking about images, I'm talking about audios, I'm talking about videos. Fine. So for media framework, media manager is also there, which can simply deal with all the media related stuff. So for putting the audios, for putting the images, videos in Android Studio, you will have to look after one specific folder. Fine. So so that we can place all the images and videos to that folder, and then we can access it in each activity. But that once I will explain the structure of Android Studio, at that time you will come to know how each folder is treated and what we can put inside each folder. So those kind of stuff which are related to media, it comes under a media framework. So again, for that also there are certain inbuilt functions which you need to access. So all those inbuilt functions are available in this media framework. So you don't need to download the extra library to access the media for Android applications. It is available inbuilt. You can simply access it. Is it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, great. Then the third library is SQLite. And again, it is new for you. So for anything, whenever we start web development, we need to discuss about database. Similarly, if we talk about software development, again we need to discuss about database, because a database is very important for each application, for each website, for each software. Without database, we cannot even imagine the website, software, or any applications. So for Android application, SQLite is one of the inbuilt database, but it is not that SQLite is the only way which can deal with the data for mobile applications. And I am not saying that SQLite is the only way to deal with the data, but I am saying that SQLite is one of the inbuilt data type, sorry, one of the inbuilt database for Android applications. But again, if you want to access the external database for your application, you can do it. If you want to create database in MySQL, and you can, and if you want to fetch that data in your application, you can do it. If you want to send the data from your application to, let's say, Google Sheet, you can do it. Fine, but those are the external things. But if you want to play with the internal things, if you want to store your database in your phone itself, in your mobile itself, then SQLite comes into the picture. फाइन, हमने कई सारी एप्लीकेशन ऐसी देखी है कि जिसका डेटाबेस है वो एप्लीकेशन के अंदर ही होता है, वो पता है आपको? There are many applications where whenever we store the data, it gets stored in the system itself or in the mobile itself. ये पता है आपको? Yes. So for each application, it is not necessary that data will be stored in the cloud itself. Fine. There are certain applications where data gets stored in the cloud. There are certain applications where data gets stored in the Google Sheet also. There are certain applications where data gets stored in the computer system, which is acting as a server. So there are many things, but there are many applications where you don't need to deal with any external things. Your data gets stored in the mobile itself. At that time, we will always use the just a minute. So for example, let's say I am using one application where there is only one activity, and in that activity there are two things. You can register through my application and you can do login also. Fine. But now what I don't want to store that data in any cloud things. So for example, whenever you launch my activity, at that time you will find your username, password and login button. At the below you will find one option for register. When you will click on the register, it will open the new activity where you need to give all the basic details like your name, mobile number, email address, whatever. So now when you click on the submit button, that data will be stored in my mobile only. I am not using any external things, like I am not uploading the data in the Google Sheet, I am not uploading the data in the MySQL, I am not uploading the data in the server, but I am using SQLite only. What it will do, it will store the data in your application only, and whenever you will try to log in, at that time it will fetch the data from your mobile only. So we need to perform the read operations. So in all the applications, you whenever you open file manager from your mobile, you will see one folder which is data. कभी देखा है किसी ने डेटा का फोल्डर?
Yes sir.
Yes, देखा है ना डेटा?
सर एक एग्जांपल की तरह बात करें तो वो जो मोबाइल के जो फाइल मैनेजर में जो व्हाट्सएप का डेटा सेव होता है वो?
No, for accessing the WhatsApp, again that database is not a local database. No doubt your backup is created locally, but that is backup only. अब जब WhatsApp में जो फोल्डर मिलता है ना डेटाबेसेस का, वो डेटाबेस है, वो बैकअप के लिए है, वो आपका एक्चुअल डेटाबेस नहीं है.
ओके सर.
मैंने अभी जो एग्जांपल दिया ना कि मैंने एक सिंपल सी एक्टिविटी बनाई है कि उसमें आप रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा सकते हो और लॉगिन भी कर सकते हो. तो उसके लिए आप क्या कर सकते हो, मैं ऐसा भी कर सकता हूँ कि मेरा जो डेटा है वो मैं गूगल शीट पे भेज सकता हूँ, मेरा डेटा है वो MySQL को भी भेज सकता हूँ, और मेरा डेटा है वो मैं मोबाइल को भी दे सकता हूँ. तो अभी मैंने जो एप्लीकेशन बनाई है, लेट्स से आई एम यूजिंग SQLite ओनली. व्हाट डज इट मीन? माय डेटा विल बी स्टोर्ड इन माय मोबाइल ओनली. सो व्हेनेवर आई विल डू द क्लियर डेटा, आपको जब एप्लीकेशन अनइंस्टॉल करते हैं तो वहां पे एक ऑप्शन मिलता है क्लियर डेटा, पता है किसी को?
हाँ.
यस सर.
हर एप्लीकेशन को आप उसका जो डेटा है वो क्लियर भी कर सकते हो. तो अगर मेरा डेटा लोकली मैंने स्टोर किया है और मैं उसको क्लियर डेटा करता हूँ, इन दैट केस I will lose the database. So you need to do the things again. अगर मैंने रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा लिया है फिर भी मैं लॉगिन करता हूँ तो वो लॉगिन नहीं होगा, because my data was local, so I cannot clear it. But if my data is stored in MySQL, which is located in, let's say, server, in that case to clear the data it cannot clear your database. And तो अभी आपको शायद थोड़ा confusion होगा, but once I will start the database connectivity, you will come to know that there is one data folder inside which your application will be there, and in your application your data will be stored, and we will see what exactly it stores. वो डेटा कैसे होता है, कैसे स्टोर होता है, वो भी हम देखेंगे, वो फोल्डर के हिसाब से। फाइन।
ओके सर।
Yeah, so whenever you want to deal with the internal database, at that time there is an SQLite. Inside this SQLite, there are many inbuilt classes. You can access it without including any libraries. So overall, the importance of this layer is there are many things where inbuilt libraries are there. You can simply access all the functions. The way we were discussing about the concept of package in Java. जावा में भी हमने देखा था कि जो पैकेज है, there are many inbuilt packages. Java.lang is there, Java.io, Java.applet, Java.awt. Fine. So inside each package there were more number of classes, and we can simply access it. Similarly, in Android also there are many inbuilt libraries. As per your need, you can access it. If you want to do stuff related to media framework is there. If you want to store your data locally, internally, SQLite is there. If you want to go with the designing part, Surface Manager is there. If you want to deal with font, FreeType is there. So likewise, there are many libraries. Fine. So the next one is Opengl, where Opengl simply deals with the stuff regarding related to graphics. If you want to go with the object drawing, or let's say if you want to draw 2D or 3D objects, then Opengl concept is there, where there are many inbuilt classes. You can draw various objects. So again, for that also you don't need to download any external libraries. You don't need to import it. You can simply access it through the SDK only. Fine.
Yes sir.
Yes, then the next one is FreeType. See, nowadays we are getting more number of phones in our mobile also. Fine. It is not that each phone is having single font only, and for each application we need to go with the similar font. If you want to change the fonts, then also you can do it. Nowadays, as far as API levels are getting upgraded, even new themes and new fonts are also getting upgraded. So font related things we can get from the FreeType library. It is also there. If you want to deal with the fonts, then this library is there. Then the next one is Webkit. Nowadays, mostly you are seeing the web browser in each mobile. Fine. In most of the mobiles, Google Chrome is the default browser. In few of the mobiles, even UC browser is also there, which is the inbuilt browser. So browser related things are there in the WebKit. So if you want to perform certain operations regarding your browser, then you need to access this library to have access of all the inbuilt functions. Yes, so this is regarding the browsers, web browsers. Fine.
Yes sir. Yes sir.
And then again, SGL is also for the graphics related things, where you can provide the transformations also, which we will discuss in computer graphics. So whatever objects you can draw using OpenGL libraries, you can animate those objects using various functions. So which comes under SGL. And then next is SSL. Do you know what is SSL? SSL.
Yes sir.
Yes.
कोई प्रोटोकॉल होता है ना वो ट्रांजैक्शन के।
Correct. It is something related to protocol, but can you give me an exact idea about SSL?
No sir.
Okay, fine. See, SSL is again, it is related to network. SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer. Fine, it is Secure Socket Layer. So mostly SSL library is responsible for internet security only. Nowadays we are having various protocols. For example, if you try to search something through any browser, then you are using HTTP, but nowadays you are using HTTPS, because now we got the secure connections. So to make your data secure, to provide the internet security, mostly SSL library is having many functions. So if you want to provide the security in your applications as far as network is concerned, you need to use few things from the SSL. But this is the advanced concept. As of now, we are not going to use this library. And similarly, you are not going to use libc library also, because earlier this library was introduced in Android, because there are few things regarding C and C++ also. If you want to access something from C and C++, then for that also there is a library. So this library is for C programming only. So nowadays mostly people are not using it. So overall, the importance of this layer is it will provide more number of libraries through which you can access the inbuilt functionalities, and you can fulfill your requirement. And this is the conclusion of this layer. Any doubt?
सर आप जो
No,
बोले
sir.
वो दूसरे लैंग्वेज से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, वो कौन सा, वो नेटिव मॉडिफायर वाला?
Which one?
सर आपने बोला ना वो सी और C++ के से भी कनेक्ट कर
LIBC.
सकते हैं, तो वो
LIBC. This one, last one, LIBC.
और वो
So
सर
what?
नेटिव मॉडिफायर क्या होता है?
No, LIBC, what it will do, it will not integrate the things from C, C++ to Android. Fine. It is not going to do that thing. But if you want to access few functions of C language or C++, which are directly available in the editors of C, which is not available in Android Studio. But now I am saying that it is available in Android Studio as well. You can directly access those functions without writing the code. Are you getting me?
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm talking
Yes,
about, I'm talking in that sense only. So the third and next layer is application framework, where it gives an overall idea only. You don't need to access anything. The way we are accessing the libraries, you don't need to access the application framework. But this is the concept which you can remember, that in my application I can do these many things. So application framework gives an overall idea that in any Android applications you can play with these many stuff. Fine, you can play with the activity manager, window manager, content provider is there, view system, package manager, telephony manager, resource manager, location manager, notification manager. And here also this architecture has listed many only few frameworks only. Otherwise, other than this, you can do extra stuff also. It is not that in your application you can do these many things only. And so here, for example, let's say you have your application. In your application, as I said, there could be more number of activities. So in each activity, you need to remember what methods you are using, what is the life cycle of the activity, what is the stack. So all this stuff will be managed by this activity manager, which will simply control control all the activities which are available in your application. This is the activity manager. So later on, you will come to know that, for example, my application is having 10 activities, then all activities must be registered somewhere. There is one file which is Android manifest file. So your activities must be registered there. So that we will discuss at that time also. So this is going to be handled by activity manager, which will simply controls all the available activities in your application. Then next is window manager. So in this case, you can simply say that in my application, if I'm having, let's say, 5 to 10 activities, then I can easily switch from one activity to another activity. So there is the concept of intent through which I can move from one activity to another activity easily, and that will be handled by window manager. Is it fine? Activity manager, window manager.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then next is content providers, which is very, very important part of the Android application development, which will simply allows each application to publish and share the data with the other applications. So for example, I am having 2 to 3 applications which are installed in my mobile, and let's say I want to send data from one application to another application. I can do it using content provider, and we are going to do that once we will start the implementation part. Once we will start the development part, at that time we are going to do that. You can send or receive the data from inbuilt applications also and from the applications which are made by user. So let's say as a user you have prepared two applications and you want to send or receive the data from your application only, you can do it. तो अभी आपने जो दो एप्लीकेशन बनाई है वो दोनों आपने अपने फोन पे इंस्टॉल कर दी है। पहली एप्लीकेशन से आप दूसरी एप्लीकेशन को कुछ डेटा सेंड करना चाहते हो, that you can do using content provider. Are you getting the concept?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then next is view system. So as I said, in each activity we can place various controls. So in Android application development, each control is treated as an individual view. फाइन, आज के बाद जब मैं व्यू बोलूं तो उसका मतलब क्या होगा? व्यू मतलब आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट एनी इंडिविजुअल कंट्रोल. सो फॉर एग्जांपल मैं अभी बटन की बात कर रहा हूं, मैंने एक बटन मेरी एक्टिविटी में प्लेस किया है तो वो बटन होगा मेरा वन व्यू. लेट्स से मैंने एक चेक बॉक्स डाला वहां पे तो वो चेक बॉक्स मेरा दूसरा व्यू हो गया. फॉर एग्जांपल मैंने एक लेबल डाला तो वो लेबल मेरा तीसरा व्यू हो गया. आर यू गेटिंग मी? व्हाट इज व्यू?
Yes, sir.
Yes. And if I talk about view group, it means I am talking about layout. So for example मेरे पास 3-4 बटन है तो वो मेरे 3-4 व्यू हो गए. उसको मैंने कंबाइन किया और एक कोई लिनियर लेआउट है या रिलेटिव लेआउट है या टेबल लेआउट है, किसी भी लेआउट का यूज करके मैंने उसको अरेंज कर दिया. तो वो जो लेआउट है वो बन गया मेरा व्यू ग्रुप. तो आज के बाद जब मैं व्यू बोलूं तो उसका मतलब आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट एनी इंडिविजुअल कंट्रोल, और जब मैं व्यू ग्रुप बोलूं तो आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट एनी इंडिविजुअल लेआउट. So regarding this thing for view and view group, view system is there. So it is not that we need to access something, but that concept is known as view system, inside which you can discuss about individual view or a view group. That's it. Then next is package manager. I already told that package manager is again very important for each programming language, because inside package you can place certain things, and if you want to reuse those things, then by importing the package you can do it. So in Android also the concept of package manager is there. There are many inbuilt packages as well as there are external packages also that you can create by your own. So those stuff will be coming under this package manager. Then next is telephony manager, which is also very important, because let's say I want to dial any number, then I'm accessing the inbuilt applications. Fine, I can open the dialer, I can write the numbers, and I can call any people. So once I dial the numbers, how it connects to the end user and what services is going on in the background, that will be handled by the telephony manager. So you can also develop your own application through which you can dial someone, you can call someone. आपको कभी ऐसी एप्लीकेशन बनानी है कि आपकी एप्लीकेशन में आप वहां पे एक टेक्स्ट बॉक्स या एडिट टेक्स्ट रख दो, उसके बाद कॉल वाला बटन है, जो भी नंबर यहाँ पे मैं एंटर करूंगा, जब मैं कॉल पर प्रेस करूंगा तो वो जो नंबर है उसको कॉल लगना चाहिए. तो वो आप भी बना सकते हो. तो उसके लिए आपको टेलीफोनी मैनेजर का यूज करना पड़ेगा. उसमें कई सारी इनबिल्ट एक्शंस होती है, वो आपको एक्सेस करना है. दैट्स इट. Externally you don't need to do anything. It is provided by Android only. You can simply access the inbuilt functionalities. Similarly, resource manager is also there, where the things regarding resources, for example, in my application I want to place few images, few videos, few string literals are there, few values are there, few colors are there. So in Android Studio, the beauty of Android Studio is for each thing there is a dedicated software. तो मुझे फॉर एग्जांपल डिजाइन करना है तो डिजाइन के लिए XML फाइल होती है, तो वो XML फाइल का एक सेपरेट फोल्डर होगा. मुझे कोड करना है तो कोड के लिए जावा फाइल होगी, तो जावा फाइल का एक सेपरेट फोल्डर होगा. मुझे इमेजेस पुट करनी है तो इमेजेस पुट करने के लिए वहां पर रिसोर्स का एक सेपरेट फोल्डर होगा, उसके अंदर ड्रॉएबल का फोल्डर होगा. मुझे कोई स्ट्रिंग वैल्यूज है जो थ्रू आउट द एप्लीकेशन आई वांट टू मेक इट कांस्टेंट, तो उसको भी एक जगह पे रखने के लिए उसका string.xml फाइल होगी और वो वैल्यूज फोल्डर के अंदर होगी. सिमिलरली मुझे मेरी एप्लीकेशन में कई सारे कलर कॉम्बिनेशन का यूज करना है, So things regarding colors, for again color, there is the hexa code, and if you say that these are the color codes for my applications, तो उसको भी आप color.xml फाइल में प्लेस करके सेपरेट फोल्डर में डाल सकते हो. Fine. So to manage all the resources is very easy for Android application development. It is very simple because for each thing there is the separate folder, that is the separate track. So you will never get the confusion. And so those stuff will be handled by resource manager, because res folder is there in the Android Studio, which is for resources. Is it fine? Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
And
No,
the
sir.
things regarding location manager and notification manager, again it is very straightforward. If you try to access the application which uses your location, then there are a few services which you need to turn on before accessing your application. आपने कई सारी एप्लीकेशन ऐसी देखी होगी कि जब वो आप एक्सेस करने जाओगे तो आपको लोकेशन को अलाउ करना पड़ेगा, लोकेशन ऑन करना पड़ेगा. And because that application requires some information from your mobile, so that you need to turn on. And in notification manager also, it will simply allow each application to display certain alerts or notifications to the user. So there are many applications, and nowadays almost all the applications are providing notifications. Once something gets updated with that application, if something new comes, then always we are getting the notification. So to send or receive the notification, there are few things which you need to do. There are few inbuilt classes which you need to use, and that will be handled by the notification manager. And so overall application framework, which is the third layer, which simply gives an idea that in your application you can do these many stuffs. You can place number of activities, you can switch it from one activity to another activity, you can send or receive the data, you can switch. Similarly, you can place view and view groups, you can create the packages, you can access the telephony manager, you can deal with the resources also. Resources could be anything, it could be images, audio, video, whatever. You can deal with the locations and notifications also. So it simply gives an overall idea that in your application you can implement these many stuffs. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, I know
Sir.
this is really boring topic, but still I'm trying my best to explain you. Otherwise, even I don't like to teach something which is theoretical. But still, as a programmer, you need to aware about this architecture. That's why I'm teaching this. And so, last layer, which is applications, which simply gives an idea that in the top layer, once you import the drivers, once you use the libraries, once you implement the concept of application framework, finally you can come up with the product, which is your applications. And there are a few examples of the applications, like you can have contacts as an applications, you can have phone as an applications, you can have browser as an application, you can have WhatsApp as an application. Fine. So the last layer or the top layer says that once you use the other layers like framework, libraries, and drivers, finally you can build the real product. And these are the examples of the product. They have mentioned few examples only, like context, phone, browser. Otherwise, whatever applications you have in your mobile, those are the applications. So you can build any applications. Clear?
सर वो
Yes, sir.
कंटेंट प्रोवाइडर क्या था वो बता दीजिए.
कंटेंट प्रोवाइडर का काम क्या है कि अगर आपके मोबाइल से आपको डेटा किसी दूसरी एप्लीकेशन को देना है, फॉर एग्जांपल इन योर मोबाइल, as of now let's say you are using one application which is WhatsApp, and let's say second application which is Gmail. So from WhatsApp you want to send data to Gmail, then you can do it using content provider. So it can simply share the data with other applications, or you can even receive it also. हम ऐसा एक एग्जांपल भी देखने वाला है इन द अपकमिंग सेशंस. हम क्या करेंगे कि हम दो एक्टिविटीज बनाएंगे. वन एक्टिविटी से दूसरी एक्टिविटी में हम डेटा भेजने वाले हैं. ये हो गया एक्टिविटी से डेटा कैसे ट्रांसफर करें. फिर हम क्या करेंगे, हम दो सेपरेट एप्लीकेशंस बनाएंगे. पहली एप्लीकेशन में एडिट टेक्स्ट है, वहां पे आप कुछ लिखोगे, जब आप सेंड बटन पर क्लिक करोगे तो वो डेटा दूसरी एक एप्लीकेशन है वहां पे चला जाएगा। तो वो कैसे करना है वो भी हम देखने वाले हैं, बट इट कम्स अंडर कंटेंट प्रोवाइडर्स।
Okay,
Is
sir.
it fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, and the last one and the core part is Android runtime. I'll take 2 minutes only, don't worry, so that I can finish it, and from tomorrow we can start the implementation things. That's why let me just cover this thing. Android runtime is very crucial. Earlier Android runtime was not there. Before Android 4 it was DVM only. Whatever is written here, Dalvik virtual machine, only DVM was there in the earlier versions, but after Android 4.0 Android runtime has came. So do you know what is JVM? In Java the virtual machine is there, which is JVM. Can anyone tell me what is the importance of JVM in Java? See, whenever you write the Java code, you know that Java is compiled and interpreted language. It is not only compiled or it is not only interpreted. It is both. So once you write your Java code, when you compile the file, it gets converted into the byte codes, and that byte code is readable by JVM only. So JVM will read the byte code and it will translate the things so that machine can understand. Fine? Yes or no?
सर डीवीएम जस्ट एक कस्टमाइज्ड वर्जन है ना जेवीएम का?
Correct. It is the customized version of JVM. So whatever task JVM is doing for Java, similarly Dalvik virtual machine is doing the same task for Android, because after all Android is the advanced version of Java only. We are going to use the fundamentals of Java. And so here also we will write the Java code in Java files. Then when you will compile your applications, or let's say when you will write the codes, if your program is not having any error, then it will compile it. So again, byte codes will be created, and that byte code will be converted into Dalvik code also, and that Dalvik code will be readable by DVM. So that DVM reads the Dalvik code, and then according to the code it can execute the things, and you can do things for you. And so it is very similar to Java, but the thing is Dalvik was the author. It is the name of the person only who has invented this thing. Fine?
Yes.
Yes sir.
Yes, so here also we are going to write the Java file, we will compile it, we will execute it. So once I will start the demonstration of Android Studio, once I will create one fresh application, I will let you know that there is one DDMS folder also. Dalvik database is also there. So what that thing is doing, that I will let you know. But overall execution part is handled by Android runtime. Once you write everything, if your activity is not having any error, then it will go ahead, it will execute the applications. If it is having any compilation error, then at the same time it will stop you. So the things regarding execution will be handled by this last layer, which is Android runtime. And again it is having core libraries. Here also it is written that core libraries. So it simply enable each Android application developer to write the applications using standard Java programming languages, because after all the base for this development is Java only. Clear?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's it all about the architecture of Android. There are actually 5 layers: Linux kernel, libraries, application framework, applications, and Android runtime. Things regarding managing the hardwares will be handled by Linux kernels. Things regarding all the inbuilt libraries will be handled by the second layer, which is libraries. Then stuff which we can do, which we can implement in each application, will be handled by application framework. And finally whatever product we have, whatever applications we have developed, it comes under the last layer, which is applications. And meanwhile, in between developing the activities, things regarding execution, it will be handled by the Android runtime, which is the middle level. Clear? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Then I'm just going to end this session. We will meet again for computer graphics, and I will upload this video. And as an activity, what you can do, actually for this you don't need to do anything. Yeah, so I am not giving any activity for this session, but from tomorrow always you will get the activities. In this session you don't need to do anything. Fine, so see you at 1 o'clock again. Meanwhile, you can join the next session. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care, everyone.
Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.